guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming my October wrap-up. I read 17 books in October. I know. Congratulate me later because I'm about to destroy your favorite books. I'm feeling extra feisty and extra manic today. I think my blood sugar is like low. I should probably go grab a snack. You know what? I'm gonna go grab a snack and be right back. Something about eating cheese dip on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. that just really gets me going, you know? Anyways, where were we? I read 17 books and guys, I'm kind of burnt out. I am burnt out from reading popular horror books. Like, we'll get into it. I feel like every book that's like super hyped and popular on the internet, most of the time it just doesn't work for me. I don't know. I guess I'm just a special snowflake. I don't want to call it like mainstream horror because that makes me sound like a hipster a-hole, but just something about these popular books that just bored the crap out of me this month. So out of the 17 books, I had 3 2 stars, 3 3 stars. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3.5. So everything was kind of like in the middle this month. And then I had 2 4 stars and 4 5-star reads. So if you're new here, I always start with the books that I like the least and then I work my way up to the books that I like the most. So we are going to jump right in with the whopping 2-star reads. These are all super popular books that put me in a slump and made me want to rip my hair out this month. So the first one being No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville. I know everyone and their mother is on BookTube saying how this is a 5-star book, how this is like the greatest book ever written, and listen, Linda, this book, the copy that I have is like 650 pages. Why? I just have one question for Adam Neville. Why? So this book, okay, let me tell you a synopsis. We are, what the hell is this girl's name? Stephanie? Amber, is that her name in the movie? I watched the movie, they have different names. But anyway, Stephanie is kind of down on her luck. She's broke, she has no place to stay, so she finds this like sketchy sort of motel apartment situation and she goes to stay there and the landlord's like, oh, I only allow girls to stay here. Fucking red flag number 1. And then, you know, she has nowhere else to go, so she has to stay there and she keeps hearing and seeing things and she thinks that the place is haunted. Little does she know, there's lots of things going on in this apartment. He does a really great job at mixing the supernatural elements with the real life horror. And if you guys know, like, I'm not a huge supernatural person, but I am a huge like real life horror. Like, those are my favorite types of books, like the fucked up, disturbing things that could happen to you in real life. Whew. I mean, not saying paranormal stuff can't happen to you because I have encountered ghosts before. That's a whole other story for another day. Everyone's probably like, yeah, your hallucinations, but no. What the fuck was I even talking about, guys? This video is a mess already. Yeah, he does a great job like mixing those two elements. I loved the real life horror and the dark disturbingness that was happening in this book. This could have been a 5-star read for me, but it was too fucking long. What possessed Adam to be like, I'm gonna write a 700-page book about this topic, because it didn't need to be done. The book actually ends on page 400. If it would have just ended there, I would have given it 3 stars. But he still continues to go on for another 250 pages and it's like a part 2 kind of epilogue situation and I'm just like, why? Like, for what purpose? It was so boring. Like, it was a slug of a book to get through. This book took me all month to read. I need to stop rambling about it because, like, what is this? My next 2-star read was another super hyped popular book, and it's Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. I am noticing something about myself, and it's that, well, I'm a little crazy, but I don't like slashers in my horror books. Extreme horror slashers are a little more tolerable. Regular horror slashers where there's like a group of people being picked off, I'm not a fan, because I like slasher movies. They're like my favorite movies, but slasher books, I just, it's just because there's never any character development. It's like you get a group of random strangers and like you don't really know much about them, and so when they start being picked off and killed, it's kind of like, I don't care. I don't remember anything about this book. Like, I physically read this book with my eyeballs. I don't remember it, like, at all. All I know is that there's a camp where a bunch of people go to stay, and they call it Camp Slaughter because people have been killed there in the past and they don't know if it's like haunted or whatever. And there's like this cannibal guy that kills people at the camp, and that's all I remember. I couldn't tell you how this book ends. I don't remember anything about it. So that to me is just like not a good book. I know this is really hyped all over BookTube and everyone's obsessed with it, but I don't understand the hype. I don't get it. I can't really give you anything more because I don't remember it. So yeah, moving on. My next 2-star read was The Exorcist House by Nick Roberts. Another hyped book I see all over the place, all over BookTube, all over Goodreads, all over this like Facebook horror group that I'm in. Everyone's obsessed with this book. McKay and I decided to do a buddy read. I vlogged it. You can hear my full thoughts in the vlog. My cat is scratching up my chair. Hey, 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 stop it. Now she's gonna make love to the tripod. Okay. Yeah. I vlogged it so you can hear my full thoughts. It's about this house that an exorcist used to live in, and then of course this, you know, white family moves in. What else is new? And this book was just cliche, like corny and cliche. And I really enjoyed the first half, but I think if you're a beginner to horror, you'll like this. Or if you're like really scared by exorcisms, you might like this. I don't like exorcisms in my books. Apparently I don't like horror. But I mean, I loved my best friend's exorcism. I think like horror comedies do exorcisms better than like a book that's trying to be scary, because it's not scary to me, you know? So yeah, I'll leave my vlog linked up above and down below. Moving on to 3-star books. First of all, I read a Goosebumps book. I read Night of the Living Dummy. I mean, I gave it 3 stars because it's a children's book. Like, how am I supposed to rate this? Like, I can't constructively give this criticism because it's written for a child. So, I mean, it was okay. Like, I listened to the audio while I was working, and like, it was aight, you know? It was like a nice little dive back into my childhood. What else can I say about this? Then for another vlog that I did in the beginning of October, I did classic horror books, and I read Frankenstein and The Exorcist. Both were 3 stars for me. This one I said I was gonna give a 3.5, but I changed my mind. It's a 3-star. I just thought it was kind of slow and boring. What else can I say? This one, same thing. I'm not a fan of Old English, although I did really enjoy and love the story. It wasn't for me because of the writing style from, you know, 1818. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, and it made me feel like a moron. So, I mean, although I did enjoy the story, it was in the middle for me. You know, both of these, I appreciate them. I respect their place in horror. not for me. Next, moving into my 3.5 star reads, the first one is The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. I finally read a Clive Barker book. I think the writing was phenomenal. I did enjoy the story. This guy Frank, who is seeking, like, he feels like he has experienced all the pleasures in life and he's looking for like the highest form of pleasure that he can find, I guess. And someone gives him this little puzzle box and he solves the puzzle and they're like, oh, this will take you into like another realm of pleasure. And these Cenobites come out and they're from this other dimension. If you've seen the movie Hellraiser, that's what this book is. The movie is based off of this book. So that's what it is, with like Pinhead and everyone. And some craziness happens, some gore and crazy stuff happens. I don't want to give too much away if you don't know anything about it. I'm not like obsessed with it like everyone else seems to be. I thought it was good. I recommend it. It wasn't like mind-blowing for me, but also I don't know. I don't know if seeing the movie and like knowing everything that was going to happen kind of ruined it a little bit for me, because I think it would have been a little more shocking if I wouldn't have seen the movie. But I'm definitely interested in reading more Clive Barker. I have the Books of Blood, volumes 1 to 3, so I plan on reading that. And then my next 3.5 was Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. This is a werewolf book. I put that in quotes because you'll see. This book. Okay, so it's about this girl. I don't remember her name, Rory. She is driving one day and hits something. And she's like, oh no, I hit a deer. And she gets out and she's like, ha, just kidding, it's actually a werewolf. The werewolf bites her. She's turning into a werewolf. That's what this book is about. And we're kind of learning about like her life and her drama throughout the way. And this book was good. Like, it was cute, cozy, like Disney Channel type horror. You know, it's like a book or a movie that you would like watch with like your 5-year-old daughter, you know, like that sort of vibe. It wasn't like scary horror. Like, it's like a beginner's horror book, but not really horror, because most of this book is about this woman's drama and her love life. And it's like that first, werewolf second, and I wanted opposite. I wanted werewolf first, drama second. But this book was just, I don't know, the tone was off. The tone was weird. I don't know. It was very much like, does my crush like me back? But like, also I'm turning into a werewolf. It was very much like, oh, my sister's having a baby. I don't think I like her baby daddy, so like, I'm gonna go get into a fight with him. But also, in case you forgot, reader, I'm still turning into a werewolf. Like, she was just so nonchalant about it. Everyone was so nonchalant about it. It was very bizarre. But I enjoyed it. Like, it was a nice, quick, easy read. I read it in one day. Like, it was just boom, boom, boom. Okay, done. Like, it was cute. You know, I like it. I recommend it. Especially if you're like a horror beginner. You don't like reading a lot of horror. You're like scared. This was cute, you know, but like also very weird. Next, I reread Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I read this in college. I really liked it. I did a reread this month and I'm giving it 3.5. It's too fucking long. Like, this is 750 pages. Like, at what cost? You know, at what fucking cost? My sanity. It's just, I don't know. It's about this town, Jerusalem's Lot, where basically everyone was turned into a vampire. And that's about it. And now we have this journalist, novelist. He goes back to Salem's Lot to discover like what actually happened in this town, and I like it. You know, it's like a solid vampire book. I really enjoy it. Of course, you know, Salem's Lot, the movie from the 70s, iconic. It's just like, it's too damn long. Like, this is another book where if it would have been 300 pages shorter, it could have been a 5-star read for me, you know? But when I start getting bored when I'm reading, and I start, like, if a book starts really dragging for me, it destroys my mental health and my mental capacity, where my rating just starts going like this. It just starts rapidly dropping because it's just like, at what cost? Like, I don't want to read a great, amazing book that bores me to tears, you know? So, I mean, I like it. I recommend it. I'm sure it's everyone's 5-star book, but it's just too fucking long. I'm sure the neighbor downstairs loves me throwing my books on the floor, but like, he fucking blasts that TV downstairs 24 hours a day, so I have zero sympathy. Next is another super popular, hyped book that everyone gives 5 stars on BookTube. I don't think I've ever seen anything lower than a 5-star rating, maybe like a 4-star. I'm settling on a 3.5, and I vlogged this one, so go check the vlog out if you want full thoughts. But it's Slewfoot by Brom, this beautifully stunning book. Yeah, I don't know. Let me give you a backstory. This is about Abatha, who in the 1600s, in 1666 to be exact, in New England, she basically is just like treated like trash by all the people that live in this town. It's this Puritan book about bewitchery, and everyone treats women like shit, and she is just treated like crap. And it's a book about revenge. Okay, my Scorpio, my fellow Scorpios out there will love that. And Slewfoot is this spirit. He doesn't know what he is. She doesn't know what he is. No one knows what he is. Some people think he's like a spirit or a god. Some people think he's the devil. You don't know. He's trying to figure it out because he was awoken, and he's like, well, who the fuck am I? Abatha's like, who the fuck are you? No one knows who he is. So the problem I had with this book is it's really hard to get into for me. The first like 50% was awful getting into because it's very slow. So I was like, what the hell? And it's not like old English kind of, you can understand it, but it was just dragging so much. And then I was debating on DNFing. I was like, I don't know. I don't see what the hype is. But then the second half, like the last 30%, so good. So good. The first half was just so slow. Like, I have to give it a 3.5 because I just can't justify bumping it up, because the first half was just like, it was putting me to sleep. So yeah, I mean, if you don't mind a slow burn, if you want a Puritan, witchy 1600s book with beautiful artwork and writing, the one thing about the writing is that I don't think the character development was super strong, so I didn't really feel a connection to our main character the way that I wanted. But other than that, I mean, Brom is just so beautifully talented, and I will always support him. Although his writing style is not, you know, my favorite, I'm just obsessed. So I recommend. I don't love it as much as everyone else did, but it was still a good book. Oh, my last 3.5, thank God. Dead Body Disposal by Jonathan. This book, whoo, it's extreme horror. I love Jonathan, love him. It's extreme horror, and we're following this guy. In the beginning of the book, he kills a sex worker, and he's trying different methods to dispose the body. dead body disposal, very literate, like that's literally what the book is about. He's trying all these different methods to get rid of her body. And we're just reading him as he slowly descends into madness, which is like my favorite trope. I love that. The slow descent into madness. He is wild. The things that he thinks and does, I'm just like, oh my God, it's entertaining. It's definitely like disgusting for the sake of being disgusting. There's no like groundbreaking, amazing, like great points to it or anything or purpose, but it was just entertaining. It's just left like I wanted to keep reading because I wanted to know what was gonna happen, you know? It wasn't my favorite John Athen, which is why I went with a 3.5, but I recommend if you like extreme horror, splatterpunk, that sort of thing, check it out. I liked it. Then I have 2 4-star books. First one being Creepshow by Stephen King, this comic that was based off of, you know, of course, the film Creepshow. So there's all these different short little horror stories in here. It's a horror anthology. And you know what? It was corny. Like, it was not scary or anything. It was very corny, but it was entertaining. And of course, you know, I'm familiar with the movie. So I think if you're like a fan of the movie, you've seen it, you would appreciate this more. But yeah, I feel like maybe Stephen King should just stick to writing comics because that's more entertaining for me than an 800-page book. I don't even know what else to say about this other than it's fun, it's short, and it's just like a quick entertaining thing. I love graphic novels and comics. They're like my favorite things ever. So if you have any suggestions for like horror, comics, graphic novels, I do have like a bunch of Junji Ito that I need to read, anything like that. If you have any horror recommendations, leave them in the comments down below. But yeah, super fun. Then my other 4-star read was Halloween Fiend by C.V. Hunt, which I read in my vlog. And that's just about this creature named Halloween where he haunts this town. Everyone has to leave a little offering for him. So they leave like an animal in a cage and he comes by and eats the offerings. And people in this town are just like terrified. Like it's very much like everyone's hiding inside, closing the blinds. They're scared to come out at night because that's when the creature comes out. And it was just super entertaining. Short little novella. I read it in one sitting and I really enjoyed the ending. I liked how this one ended. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Go watch my vlog if you want more thoughts, but it's a good one. Finally, we've made it to the 5-star reads. First being No One Rides for Free by Judith Sonnet. I love Judith Sonnet. This is a short, teeny little extreme horror novella, and we're following this woman taking her teenagers on a road trip to drop them off at college. They're going away to college and one's a boy, one's a girl, and they stop at a gas station because the mom has to pee. And when she comes out, there's a strange man in the car with them. I won't say much else. I think it's like 60 some pages. I don't know, something like that. I read it in one sitting. I vlogged it. Go watch my vlog. But this book is fucked up. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very graphic, disturbing. I always say, like, please check trigger warnings before you go into extreme horror. If you know you're not triggered by anything, definitely check it out. I know everyone has a different opinion as to like what they find triggering or what they find pointless torture, but to me, I feel like Judith writes trauma really well, and it's always worth it because at the end of her book she writes like a little afterword and explains why she wrote the book and kind of like the meaning behind it, and it's just, I don't know, I love her. I am her #1 fan. This is a Judith appreciation YouTube channel, and if you can't handle that, I'm sorry. But her writing has gotten so good, like so much better from when she started, and it's just like great kind of seeing her grow. And she also like wrote, edited, and published this book in the span of 10 days. So like, go check it out, okay? Support an indie author. Also, go check out John Athen. Go support him as well. Then I have 2 books here that I read for the classic horror vlog. Psycho by Robert Bloch and Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. I don't know why I had to look at those so long. Both of these 5-star reads. Both of these are like 2 of my all-time favorite movies. Psycho was the first horror movie that I've ever watched as a kid. And it's about Norman Bates. Of course, if you've seen the show Bates Motel, another great one based off of this book. Everything based off of this book. It's about Norman Bates and his mother running this hotel, and he's a psychopath. And then, Rosemary's Baby is about this couple that move into this apartment, and they have some really strange neighbors that get even more strange when she becomes pregnant. Both of them phenomenal, so well done, and pretty like spot on to their movies. And I highly recommend if you haven't read them. I'm sure everyone probably knows what both of these are about, but in case you don't, definitely check them out, read the book, then watch the movies. Amazing. And then last but not least, my favorite book. One of my favorite books of all time I've discovered this month. And it's Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. I am obsessed. This is my new personality right here. I read this on Kindle and I had to buy the physical copy because I am so obsessed. Like, I want to reread this book. This is like the only book, one of the only books that has ever like scared me. Genuinely creeped me the F out. So this is about this kid. And well, this guy is like recalling his childhood memories of some like trauma that happened. And so each chapters, they're kind of like longer chapters, and each chapter is a different memory from his childhood, and they are non-linear. So you get like, you know, this one he's 5 years old, this one he's 15, they kind of go back and forth. And basically when he is in first grade, I think it was, they had this assignment where everyone wrote a letter, attached it to a balloon, and then wherever the balloon landed, if someone got your letter, they become your pen pal. So everyone's getting like pen pal letters, and our main character just gets like these blurry, weird pictures in return. So each story is like a different point in his childhood that all tie together. And he's piecing these puzzle pieces together, and then the ending happens. Woo! It is a bleak, disturbing, depressing book. It is real life horror at its finest. It is amazing. It's so fucking creepy. And listen, I've seen some people rating this poorly on Goodreads lately. And just know I have a list of people that I no longer trust. And it's anyone that has given this book anything less than 4 stars. Just kidding, not really. This book, I just love it so much. I feel like it deserves a place on my favorite shelf. Can you see this here? I have a favorite shelf with Survivor and Brother, my 2 all-time favorite books. And I am just like thinking of a way to incorporate this on the favorite shelf, because this is my personality this year. These 2 books were my personality of 2021. This is my 2022 personality. Like, I am gonna sleep with this book under my pillow. I just love it so much. Like, I can't even speak. But that's because I'm manic. Yeah, this book is just so good. Please read this book. And if you don't like it, please don't tell me because I'm never going to trust you again. Just go read it, okay? Go read it, go buy it, go look at it, go... I can't believe this was sitting on my Kindle for so long and I never fucking read it until now. My heart's beating way too fast. I need to go. All right, thank you for watching my video. I will see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.